Hey, welcome back. I have another hobby video, and this one here is taking a look at the Wargame Battleground Diorama Terrain. It's got a weird name, basing material or basing paint from AK Interactive, and it's really nice. At least I assume it's AK Interactive. It's AK. They don't say Interactive on here, and I've just realized that. Um, but I can't imagine there's another company called AK. So, anyways, these guys here have produced a bunch of different textured paints that other companies sell their own versions of, but they do it at a better price point. These cost me $13 each Canadian, and then I also got them for 15% off during a um, Boxing Day sale. So, a really good price for these 5 pots, and they each come with 100 milliliters of product. Offhand, I don't know what the competition is putting in a pot. Somewhere around 20, maybe 22 milliliters for the big name everybody's going to recognize immediately and kind of think of first. And those things cost like $7, maybe $9 now. It's been a while since I've bought one of their brand, just because the price sort of didn't make sense when you have to do so many models in an army. I just started looking for ways to make cheaper and easier at home solutions. But when I saw these at this price for this volume, I said, you know what, I'm going to try it. And I went with 5 options, 5 colors: concrete, dry ground, asphalt, snow, and muddy ground. Now, the snow, it's a bit different. You can tell just as soon as you pick this one here up that it's much lighter. The same volume is in there, but the weight is quite different. These weigh a lot more. It's not even comparable how much more they weigh than the snow. And that's because the snow, unlike the others, is this sort of, I don't even know what to call it, like melted marshmallow sticky texture. But it's a very nice white, and it goes on quite easy. The rest of them, they look like this. They're just kind of a nice mud. Um, Not too thin, not too thick. They do have a strong smell. That is one thing I've noticed. Even just opening these two up for those short periods of time, I immediately smell them. So if you have a strong aversion to scent, um, it's going to be down to personal ability to handle different smells, but these do have a smell, so just keep that in mind. As far as product quality goes, they are nice and durable. You can hear that. It does leave little scratches, so you lose some paint doing what I just did there, but really shouldn't be doing that. But it is nice and durable. I feel like you could knock these around the table for years, and there really shouldn't be an issue, I would think. Um, but I've only had these for a couple of weeks, so it's not like I can, maybe not even a couple of weeks, about a week. So I can't really guarantee you that these things are going to last super long, but I do think these have long life in them because they adhere very well to the base. These bases were not prepped in any way. These were just naked bases I found in a box. And I just had tons of these extra 32 millimeter bases that I didn't need. So I just threw some of this on them just to see how it looked. The only one I did anything special with, sorry, there's 3 of them I did something special with, but really it was just this one here. I put some yellow lines on the asphalt color just to break it up because black is, it's just not that great to see. And it needed something to contrast it. These two, the snow and the muddy ground, I did do a couple of things with them just to see what could be done with them. And in this case here, it was because the first time I did one of these, it did not cover the base very well. And I did a second one and saw that it was just my fault. I just didn't use enough product. But then I decided the first one I would add some blue to the initial layer and then put some more over top just to make an ice field. And then for the muddy ground, I made a second one and I put some transparent water gel over it to make it actually more muddy. That's the one downside. This says it's muddy ground, but it has no sheen or anything, so it's not super muddy looking. And I will get more close-ups of each of these in just a moment, but I'm going to start with the concrete. It's, and I've lost it. Give me 1 second here. I'll just pause this. And we're back. So as you can see, it's got a nice texture. It's not really any different than what you would expect from other brands. It looks about the same. It's just going to be down to color. It's not the nicest gray, but it's not a bad gray. A lot of what you're seeing here, it's just hard to get a good shot of this on my phone. It doesn't translate color well into video compared to some others, I guess, but it looks good. I did a light gray dry brush on half of it afterwards just to see how it took it, and it did work very well. It dry brushes easily, just like any other of these texture paints. Again, they all sound nice and firm. I can't see any flaking happening when I do that. This one here, the dry ground, this one's showing off a bit more yellow than it actually is. It's more beige. But then again, I did a dry brush just to see on half of it how it looked. And yeah, a nice color. These two are both pretty boring. They would also easily take washes and like contrast or speed paints if you wanted to change them up a little. But I think as generic base colors, these two are quite good. You can do a lot with them. Same with this one. Although where it's black and it's meant for asphalt, I think it's going to be harder to just use, but it would also work well as a good volcanic soil. And just anywhere you want it to be black. It's a nice, very deep black. It looks more gray, but part of that, again, is the lighting and this phone. It is a nice, deep black. I'm going to go to the muddy ground, just because this one's got less to say. I got less to say about this than I do the snow. So again, just a brown. It looks good. This is actually probably my favorite of the four more, traditional textured paints. And it does look really good with that layer of water effect on it. I think it's a nice muddy texture. It gets a weird feeling. It's a little smooth as a result because of that stuff, but it still would look really good with some Krieg or other trench fighters. Now this is the snow, just straight out of the pot. And yeah, it's good. I mean, it's not the best snow I've ever seen. It's not the worst. I prefer flock snow over this. And I think Games Workshop probably has a better snow in terms of looks, but price point, this is better. It just depends how much you need. I don't know if I would recommend this one specifically over other brands, but I think a lot of people would find uses for that. It's very close to a spackle, so I think you could just buy like a wall filler that's really bright white, and it would do the same thing, and it'd be a lot cheaper. Let me try to get this focused. This one here is the one I said that I kind of made it into an ice field look. There we go. I really like this. This is how I would paint a frozen base if that's what I was doing with this. I would get some on, paint it blue, and then put a second layer. I think that looks a lot better than just the flat white, but that really is just more of a user error, I think. It's not really meant to be put this way, I wouldn't think, and you're just not supposed to put that much. I think it's a lot better used in this way. And yeah, just while I'm at it, this here, I showed this off before. Modeling paste, super cheap because you get like a huge amount. That's like 300 milliliters for about the same price as one of these. This is what you get from that. And this would take inks and speed paints and whatnot really well to get whatever color you want. You should try to layer it better than I did, but that's sort of just another option out there I decided to put in. But there's more work involved in that because you do have to put the color in yourself. And if you're not careful, because it doesn't have the fine particles that texture paints have, it's going to have just a weird streaky kind of like tracked effect. Whereas this here does leave the little bumps because, again, it's got some texture in it. Sorry. Anyways, my final thoughts on this is that if you're looking for volume, this is a good product. It is no better or no worse than any of the other textured paints I've ever bought from different companies. But value wise, it's just, this is the way to go. If you're going to buy this stuff, buy it from these guys or anyone else who's selling larger volume pots for roughly the same price as what the big name guys are selling it for, because you are paying for a brand name over the amount you need. Armies these days are getting bigger, especially if you're playing like Warhammer or Age of Sigmar. Often you're going to have a lot of minis you need to base, and one textured pot is probably not going to be enough from them, but it might be enough here. I don't know, probably not, but I'd rather buy 2 of these and have leftover than buy 2 or 3 from the brand name and have nothing left over or a very small amount. This just seems like a better investment. So anyways, that's just my thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments if you feel any differently. If you think that there's a better product out there, I'd love to hear about it, because again, I love these products. I love looking at them, trying them out. So anyone that has any other options that you can buy, just let me know. And if you have a good recipe for homemade stuff, always share that with me as well. Thanks very much for watching and have a great day.